And we are back. Our next guest is a remarkable individual whose journey through music, television, and philanthropy has left an indelible mark on both industries as well as community. Now, beyond his entrepreneurial ventures, he embraces roles as motivational teacher, author, spreading positivity through works. And he's got things. He's the host of the Winner's Circle on This Is 50 on YouTube, Instagram, and iTunes. And he's the author of Yes, Every Day Can Be a Good Day, and Yes, You Can, and the founder of the June Archer School of Arts. Joining me now, author, motivational teacher, TV personality, the one, the only, June Archer. And I want to thank you, man, for coming. You said you do this, and I'm so glad you're here.
Man, I'm excited to be here. I mean, our first encounter had to be divine. So
Right.
we are here for a reason, and I'm excited, and I'm glad that we're able to add value in each other's lives.
Well, you're going to add value to more lives because I want you to have an opportunity to talk. First of all, let's talk about you.
Yes.
You know, you started off in the music industry, and you had a music career, and you transitioned. But talk about the music industry.
That was a dream come true. We're talking about early 90s, having a dream of becoming Michael Jackson and looking at New Edition as the example of what you wanted to do in terms of music. And I was a gifted athlete, but the music just kept calling me.
Right.
And for me, it was getting together with some childhood friends and practicing singing and dancing. And we were in jazz show choir. A lot of people call it Glee Club now. And just perfecting our chops till the opportunity came where my senior year in high school, we had the opportunity to win this talent show. The first place prize was an opportunity to go to the world famous Apollo Theater. Second place prize, $500. And I love telling that story because the person who came in second place was a childhood friend of ours called Anika Noni Rose, who has gone on to be the first African-American Disney princess. She played in Dreamgirls with Beyonce, Jennifer Hudson. But her dream didn't stop just because she came in second place. She made sure to finish the race. Right? We went on to win first place, went on to the Apollo Theater 19, 20 times. And our 21st time, we finally got our record deal. We had our name on the marquee. Our first single was out. Video was on BET, VH1, MTV, The Box. And that was where the dream started. And then we come to find out that I like to tell young people, don't just have one dream, because when that dream is over, once you've accomplished that, what else do you have?
Right.
So I went on to become a music executive and had the opportunity to work with the likes of Jay-Z, Beyonce, Chris Brown, 50 Cent, Mario, Marion, Gym Class Heroes. Like, those were still dreams, but I didn't realize, like, after losing that record deal, right, and that time was up when the music literally and figuratively stopped, what was I gonna do next? And so I was able to get back into the music business, still doing what I love and being an advocate for young artists, because I knew that side of the business, but also loving the business side. And then taking that mentality and going back home and providing opportunities for young people who weren't gonna get that same opportunity because we didn't have the Apollo Theater back in Hartford, Connecticut.
Right. So for yourself, you have an opportunity now to really give back, give back to young people, and then those people who are really coming up in the industry to say, listen, there's more to this than just making music. You could be an executive. You could have the opportunity to do a whole lot more. And I want you to take a moment and share a little bit, because you're also doing some leadership coaching here too.
Oh, absolutely. When that part of that leadership comes through, having the opportunity to, people to understand leading, right? Leading is just really being a mentor, right? And figuring out how can you pull out the best from people? How do you give people opportunity? How do you promote people? And not just from positions, but promoting in terms of motivation, motivating them and inspiring them to be the best version of themselves. So for me, I go out to corporate America, I go to colleges, high schools. I just did a middle school graduation in Mount Vernon, New York, telling our young people that they could dream. If they could believe it, they could see it, they could do it. But you gotta start your 10,000 hours now, right? Malcolm Gladwell talks about this 10,000 hour model in terms of being the person who is skilled at their craft, but you gotta put the work in. And I do that at every level that I have the opportunity, because I took that from the music model and took it into business and just now sharing in education.
And you're also using your platform to really bring celebrities to the forefront, sharing their stories, sharing them. You got a podcast that's out there on
Blessed,
This Is 50.
Blessed to have that. Yeah, 50, afforded me the opportunity to be on his platform, thisis50.com, and I've had the opportunity to interview, you could go just 50 Cent himself, Gerard Butler, Chris Rock, Regina Hall. I mean, the names go on and on, but the best part about it is to have the access to be able to take their stories and share with people who have dreams and aspirations of doing exactly what they're doing. It may not be as large or that scale,
Right.
but they realize that they go through the same things as normal human beings, because at the end of the day, they are normal human beings.
Absolutely.
So I'm very grateful for 50 to give me this opportunity. And the show is called The Winner Circle, right? How do you surround yourself with like-minded people that will hold you accountable, that will feed you everything you need to become successful, right? Sometimes our inner circle is not always the best for us. So I try to tell people, who are the top 5 people who are in your winner circle to allow you to be the best version of yourself, to hold you accountable, to make your dreams come true.
So for yourself, obviously, who do you put in that circle?
Well, I look to...
Who's your starting 5?
Oh, my starting five. Oh, let me tell you something. My starting 5, literally, and it's a complicated starting 5 because I put family first.
Right.
Right. I put my wife and my kids as part of that inspiration. Because if you're not doing it for anything else, you have to do it for your family.
Right.
Not just financially, but to inspire them to be the best version of themselves. Then you have, my peers who have been in the music business with me. I put them as a core. I have my starting 5 within that starting 5. And then you got Oprah, you got Jay-Z, you got 50. So between the family, the inner circle, and those 3, those are the 5 that keep me inspired, because when I look at Oprah, Jay, and 50, I look at 3 individuals who are successful in their own right. But imagine if we told them, Oprah, stick to interviewing. Don't start a network. Don't act.
Right.
Don't start a magazine. Jay, stick to rapping. Don't start a streaming service. Don't start a movie production company. 50, don't do any shows. Don't act. Just stick to rapping. Don't start no champagne company. What would those worlds look like with all the opportunities they've given to so many people? What does that world look like? So when I look at what they're doing, I say to myself, I could do the same thing. So I've emulated in different ways. I've started, a company that does marketing and promotion, helps artists. I have a clothing line. I have a jewelry line. I have a shoe line. I have a podcast, right?
Right.
I do great events to honor people of color throughout the state of Connecticut and Western Massachusetts. What would it look like if I just stayed in the music realm and not be able to be a blessing to so many people? What does that look
And I
like?
want you to talk a little bit about, because we got a few minutes left, I want you to talk a little bit about the June Archer Foundation, because people don't know, but they do know the work that you're doing. So talk to me a little bit about the foundation and how you're giving back.
Well, the foundation started out from the pandemic, where I had the opportunity to teach, young people about what it is that I do in the music business. And throughout that, it was during the pandemic, a friend of mine gave me the opportunity, and he said, you should continue to teach. I'm like, man, what would I call it? Would I call it the June Archer School Arts? Just, in jest. And he's like, yeah, that's it.
There you go.
And as we went on to call different principals and superintendents that I knew personally and getting into the schools, I realized that some of these schools don't have the funding to be able to have, teachers or those, we're teaching DJing, graphic design, filmmaking, photography, animation, podcasting, songwriting. So we can't pay these instructors. I can't allow them to come in and, they need to eat too.
Right.
So I said, how do we raise money and ask for money? And so that's where the June Archer Foundation came in. And since then, we changed it to the Archer Foundation, as my wife has now become an integral part of the Archer Foundation, and she is the executive director. And I feel very comfortable with her at the helm, because I know that in order to be successful, not only do you need a great woman behind you, you need someone who's a pillar, someone who's a backbone of your community and your organization. And for me, that's my wife.
Speak to me about the arts, because when we talk about school, the first thing that gets cut in the budget,
Always.
music, arts, and sometimes sports, right?
Right.
But how critical is it to have the arts in school? Because when we talk about young people, they may not get geometry right off the bat.
No.
They may not get,
won't.
mathematics or chemistry. But there is an attachment to the arts that links them to education.
And they love the interactive piece of education, right? You can't keep them in silos. So when you put them in an opportunity to do project-based learning, and you talk about music, one of the things that we learn in terms of learning music in school is mathematic grades go up. Team building goes up, right? Why did we take music out of school when kids can excel in science and mathematics? Why did we take phonics out of school and now we're trying to figure out why our young people are reading at a 3rd grade level and barely graduating high school? It's because we're taking arts out of the school system. So yeah, it's great to have STEM programs, that's great. But isn't STEM really school on a grander scale? Like, why did we need to put the A back in to STEM and keep it as STEAM, right?
Right.
But it's still, once again, it's still a robust opportunity for young people to learn the whole gamut. There's no reason to call it STEM or STEAM, but you can't take the A out of STEAM.
Right. Well, we're running out of steam on this segment, but I got to bring you back.
Absolutely.
But before we do that, how do people get in touch with you in terms of seeing your work, your platform?
Oh,
What do they do?
I appreciate you. First of all, amazing. I'm so glad I had this opportunity.
Man,
I can't wait for you to get your shoes.
Listen,
I can't
yes,
believe
we're going to talk about that, yes.
He got his June Archer 3s.
That's right. I got some shoes that I ain't got the chance to wear yet.
Yeah.
They ain't get to me yet.
But they're on their way. But please, you can follow me at June Archer, JUNEARCHER. Go right to the website, IamJuneArcher.com. That has all of my information, all of my events, all my programs, all of my merchandise.
Good to have you, man.
I appreciate
It's
you.
It's a blessing to have you, man. Listen, now if you want more information, do me a favor. Visit the website, as he said, IamJuneArcher.com. Of course, follow them on social media at June Archer. And listen, don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this.